some kindness, some generosity coming around from all places. Thank you very much, everyone, for being part of what is already a fun day of StarCraft 2 action. I've been a little bit stressed out here in you know, the forfeit, having to rearrange the match orders, talking to players, and trying to make sure everything was sorted out. I've definitely been a little bit kind of unfocused, and it's definitely shown a little bit as well here and there in the cast. I'm missing a couple of proxies, etc. So hopefully you guys can forgive me, and we can kick this off into game number 1 of Creator vs. KeeN. Hopefully we can up the level of casting a little bit. Hopefully I'm not going to be as terrible this time, because I really do think I've been a little bit below par so far today. As we have to the top right hand side, our blue Protoss is Creator, and to the bottom left hand side, the red Terran player is KeeN. So this is our 4th best of 3 of the day, and we're actually moving along at a pretty decent pace. If we keep up with this sort of timing, then it'll be working out quite nicely for us, I think, overall. So let's see how this goes as we get set up and ready to go into game number 1. We're just going to drop down, and yeah, I mean, our initial setup here, just getting going. Warp gate on the way up here from Creators. We're going to be seeing the command center just coming down on the natural. Reaper will continue to move on forwards towards the upper right hand side, and again just looking to see what it can perhaps get up to. As the Nexus is about to finish up from Creator, so that is something which will be done here in a moment or so. Stream title asks Scott Nugs. Yes, I should probably update it. Sorry, as I said, today is just not my day in terms of being on top of everything. You guys are going to have to forgive me. Alright, should be all fixed. Oh, and I just need to get my expert window back up to make sure nothing went wrong, which it didn't. Okay, we're good. So Twilight Council comes down here right away, and fast Twilight Council isn't something we see all of the time nowadays, so kind of fun to see it coming up. Probably just going to be a blink opening to kind of control the map a little bit here in these early stages. You can get the Stalkers across, you can really stop the Terran from moving out for free. As the Terran does try to move out, you know, you can pick away a little bit here and there, so just going to see a Widowmine just kind of burrowing and mineralized so far. This is obviously a setup from KeeN, which is set up to try and, you know, deny an Oracle from getting too much damage done and all, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Just going to see that Widowmine dropping down, and just going to be having this Reaper from KeeN just patrolling back and forth towards the upper right side as well. Just trying to keep up to date with what's happening. It's so hard for him to scout with this pylon here blocking him from jumping up into the main base, and obviously there's somewhat of a wall off and just Stalkers in position on the front of the natural. What is this Reaper actually meant to do right now? Honestly, probably not a lot. What's up, Principium, coming in with the Cheer 100 in the chat. Can you get some love for Principium? You guys are really on a roll today. It feels like the subs and the shoutouts in general, just like non-stop, the bits and all the rest of it. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate the support. See awesome people that allow us to keep on bringing you guys events like this one. And yeah, I really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much. Robot facility dropping down here from Creator. It's just over halfway done, and that is going to allow Creator to well, get set up and move across the map in the next few moments. We do see again, Reaper just kind of still patrolling here, but it's the Widowmines that are going to come forwards that are going to be able to come in and drop down a couple of shots that could be quite damaging. Ooh, this Nexus is going to come down in the third just in time. KeeN will actually see that, so he knows the time of the third base. I mean, again, it's that sort of point where Blink is finishing, so Creator is safe enough to defend that third base. Let's see if you can keep up with that, as we do see this one medevac going to be coming up the right-hand side, and is going to be dropping in the next couple of moments to see what will be going on. So there's the first Widowmine dropping down. The probe started to pull. The second Widowmine is actually very close to the tail end of that probe line. Is just going to be a couple of workers here in the end, and a medevac does get taken down. Actually, the Stalkers have used their blinks. That's a Stalker kill. Ah, no, wow. I thought they were on cooldown already, but they came off. So actually, in the end, the Stalkers blink away and really minimized that damage. Medevac and both Widowmines going down for really not much gained. It's a little bit surprising, as we do see the Stimpack combat shields and the +1 attack upgrade from KeeN all continuing to come on through. So obviously KeeN gets set up into his next little stage of this, which is looking pretty, you know, looking pretty normal, as we do see a lot of Stalkers just to the left-hand side. Again, it's this sort of stage where the Stalkers want to try and get some damage done, but the bunker coming up is going to be able to hold the front quite easily. Nice catching on an Observer as well. Very nicely done so far. Going to be seeing the 1-1 upgrades, of course, something which will soon be a Protoss advantage in this game, the upgrade lead, with only a single engineering bay at work here so far. We are going to see one of those Widow Mines getting taken down, and another Marine or two, and this is exactly what these Blink Stalkers are so good at, because they're so safe, because if they do get into trouble, they just start blinking away. Whereas these Stalkers now, so far, they've picked off a Marine, a Widow Mine, and that's less units that now Creator has to deal with on the other side of the map. He sees those Medivacs. Oh, he's going to come over here and get another Widow Mine at least. No, he just doesn't get the kill. Blinks away. But again, there is that Blink showcasing just how he can escape damage at all points. Creator just keeping himself so very safe at the moment. More Prism is on the way up and 4 more gateways coming down. Charge now on the way through, so looks as though Creator wants to continue playing in towards a continued sort of style here, which is going to be, kind of like very kind of gateway aggressive sort of units, as we're going to be seeing Blink, Charge, all of this on the way up. And we're just going to be seeing him just going to be trying to fight with massive units. I mean, how many gates is he on now? 8. So he's going to be able to warp in a lot. And again, he's done so much to delay these attacks. He stopped the first 2 Medivacs coming across the map as it drops, so he hasn't had to deal with that. He's been picking away at Marines all the way along. And we're just going to be seeing these Stalkers continue to blink back. And, well, nice force fields as well. Charge isn't done just yet, and those force fields will buy him time for Charge to finish before a fight. 1-1 just finished up 2, and he goes straight into 2-2 as well. So Creator continues to set up so nicely so far, as we are going to see the Widow Mine going off. Doesn't actually get much, I think. it was just a Stalker blink back that happened right there. As we will see these bio units of KeeN coming forwards, going for a pylon, but not quite being successful so far. You're going to see a Widow Mine. Doesn't quite go off here in the end. You can see a couple of cannons coming down towards the front also still. Sentry on the way up, Stalkers just poking their way through the front as well, and just going to see those Marines again stemming forwards, trying to do a bit more. Widow Mine blows up an Observer. A couple of SCVs going down across the map though. War Prisms come into play, and that's going to be Creator's way to start pulling KeeN back as well. So Creator's playing this very well at the moment, I feel, as we do see Zealots coming forwards. Force field comes down, Widow Mines getting cleaned out as well. 18 workers have gone down. Oh my god, this counterattack is huge. And Creator is just absolutely destroying this fight on this side of the map as well. He is not even looking slightly endangered at all. He is in complete control. And obviously, even as the War Prism gets taken down over here and the Zealots get cleaned out, to kill 22 workers while holding on so convincingly at home, resources lost is going to be disgusting. 1,350 to 3,775 in this game. KeeN is in a lot of trouble right now, and I don't know what he does. He's about to be behind with the 2-2 upgrades finishing up from Creator as well. Makes these engagements even better for Creator in the next few moments. And at that point, as KeeN, what do you really do? You have to look at this and in some way be like, okay, well, I have to try and do something a bit different here, but I'm not sure what you actually do. As we see these units coming in, a Sentry or 2 going down. Zealots start to charge on forwards, and they do push back this initial little bit of bio force. I wouldn't mind just sat here at the front as well, and we are just going to be having the... Another wouldn't mind actually to the left-hand side, but I think Creator knows about this one. You can see it as he blinks backwards there. Nicely done. War Prism on the way up from Creator too, as we are going to be seeing these bio units of KeeN gathering in the center and continuing to push in towards the upper right-hand side. Stalkers are going to be blinking all the way back now, and an Immortal and a couple of Archons also around the side to see what else is happening. We do see the Stalker getting picked off, and the Immortal is going to get taken down. Widow Mine, a couple of Widow Mines on the side actually get rid of these Zealots quite nicely. This is a much better fight from KeeN than what I was expecting with the way this game was going. Can KeeN keep this up though? That's going to be something we need to find out here soon, as we're going to be seeing these units continue to push on forwards. Zealots, Stalkers, Void, Archon or 2. Everything pushing in. I think over time, things get better for Creator, and as KeeN backs off, he has to think about how he can continue this aggression, because if he doesn't, that's so cute as well. He lifts up the 2 low health Zealots to make sure they don't just get picked off. That's so cute. And just saving 200 minerals units, so many people will just let those die as they continue to chase, but Creator taking those up, that's absolutely stunning play there from him. As again, I think this couple of fights were very good for KeeN, and they were probably as best as he could have hoped they could go. The issue is Creator was already just in so good of a position that it might not have been enough. I mean, KeeN's even not able to afford 2-2 upgrades. And without 2-2 upgrades, what on earth are you going to do when the Protoss finishes +3/+3? You're going to be behind so far on upgrades. That's going to be really, really painful here. As you see these value units stimming forward, Stalkers blink back again. Another force field dropping down. We are going to be seeing KeeN just unsieging those Liberators. I mean, that is the one thing that KeeN has that's very powerful in his army. that is now coming into play that hasn't been here before, so that maybe the Liberators can do something to change things up, as these 6 Zealots are going to be charging on down in towards the 3rd base. You're going to be seeing the War Prism here from Creator is going to be moving around as well, and again, Zealots, Stalkers, Immortals picking their way through those rocks, and we just see the Zealots continue to charge on forwards, picking away at a few more of these SCVs. A lot of damage being done so far. 7 workers killed once again, and it's just pulling so much of the army to the left-hand side, which has allowed Creator to somewhat easily come down to this side instead. Picks off another Widow Mine with the Blink Micro, so nicely done. A scan from KeeN looking for the 4th base, but it's actually down to the south, so Creator has taken this base as well, and he's just been non-stop so far. Again, the Liberators might be the one issue now, as High Templars are dropping out the War Prism. Storms are coming down on the army as it tries to kite away. Way too much from Creator. And I think that is just so very apparent right now. These Liberators even going down. There's so many mortals left. Another Storm. GG. Creator takes game number 1. How about that? Huh? Huh? What do you guys think of that? Principium with the Tier 100 going to take that Bit Boss back away from Denmark. Thank you so much, Principium, for the Tier 100 in the chat. I see some Wardy Hearts up in here from Principium as well. Tripster! Sorry, not Tripster, Tripsitter. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 with the Tier 100 as well. Apparently we're going bit crazy right now. What's up, guys? How you all doing? Thank you so much for all the bits. With that said, let's go into game number 2. As we have to the bottom right-hand side, the Blue Pros player. This is Creator. And he is going up against the Red Terran to the top left-hand side of the map, KeeN. Alright, so I'm now on the lookout for things that are cute to replace them with my new words for cute. I'm very excited. I'm very interested to see what we can find in this game. I hope there's something that is a delightful little play to throw out here. Commands that are coming down from KeeN so far. If you haven't been watching the production tab, this is just a Reaper expansion. And we do see the SCV of KeeN just moving forwards here. Has already spotted the natural, the expansion coming up, and he scouts around. He kind of knows this pylon's over here, because why wouldn't you block off the Reaper kind of jump up pathway? It makes a lot of sense, it benefits you greatly. It just stops the Terran player from being able to scout as easily as he would usually like to. So that natural nexus is dropping down, and the Reaper comes in at the front and does start to work his way through this pylon here. So pylon takes a little bit of damage, and again, just going to be seeing a factory on the way up right now from KeeN. The command center's coming down. The Stargate is coming up to being about halfway done as well. So, just Creator with the tech choice here. A little bit different on Backwater than was on Blackpink. Backwater is... It's kind of weird. I mean, in the sense that this Blinkstalkers would work here as well. It's... Yeah, I mean, Backwater's a bit of a larger map, so you have more space to kite with the Stalkers if you want to. But at the same time, the Stargate can be very good at keeping track of things on this much larger map than the Stalkers would be, so... Moving across, let's see what this Adept can get up to. I hate when cute is used personally, because StarCraft is not cute, it's a war to be won. Yeah, but it's not the fighting that's cute, it's the play being made that's cute. Okay, I'm gonna stop justifying this. Anyways, I'm just gonna be seeing this Adept does shade backwards, and so far just... very standard early game shenanigans from both, just the back and forth from the Reaper, the Adept, information being gained from these players so far. As you will see, this Adept comes along, and we are going to be seeing the Reaper just, well, taking a few shots here, and actually may be able to pick up one of these probes. That's nicely done. And as the Adepts come in, they should be able to shut it down, at least with the shade. The Reaper actually just loops back around for its death anyways, so... that is going to be the Reaper going down. And there is a proxied starport, by the way, down on the south side of the map. And so, with the proxied starport, KeeN is looking towards getting something done. The thing is, coming into the main base, the Oracle has seen the lack of a starport, didn't dive into the mineral line where Widow Mine is placed. So the Oracle stays alive. But seeing the lack of a starport, obviously you've already got to be thinking, well, what on earth's going on? And Creator is actually starting to make Phoenix to deal with whatever may be coming out of this. The Oracle even not using any energy, I think because if it's a proxy starport with Tech Lab and Cloak Banshees, he's going to need that energy to revelate the Banshees, and he knows it. So As the Liberator Siege is up in the main base now, we are going to be seeing Creator was a little bit slow to respond to that, considering I was kind of assuming that he kind of figured out what was going on. But 2 Phoenix are going to kill that very quickly. Now it's actually a medevac as a follow-up here from KeeN, and he has got 8 Marines, which have just sort of randomly wandered across the map. And they are going to be trying to get a little bit of damage done here as well with this medevac, I imagine. 4 probes went down to the Liberator. I mean, that's some nice little somethings. And we are going to be seeing a Resonating Glaives follow-up now that the Phoenix count is growing from Creator. So we're going to be playing this sort of Phoenix Adept style. I mean, we've definitely seen that one before. As we are going to see this starport pulling back towards the center. Denmark is the best again for the Cheer 200 in the chat, saying the Bit Boss back. Thank you very much for the Cheer 200. And Percipian is apparently going to Denmark on Monday. He's going to see if it's actually as good as advertised. Well, there we go. We've got a real life, we've got a real life tester to see if Denmark is actually the best. Going to Denmark, like it's crazy. We're actually going to get real feedback as to whether Denmark is the best or not. How about that? Thank you so much. Denmark's the best for the Cheer 200. See the shield battery coming up towards the front as we do see a Widow Mine. Ooh, you can see that Creator was a little bit kind of humming and hawing about whether you should fly the Phoenix towards that there, and one of those moments where you just sort of like maybe even blank in your mind. You're like, oh, I should move them away, but I want them to be here, and everything went a little bit wrong. I mean, it doesn't lose a Phoenix, and he will get the shields back, but obviously makes the Phoenix a little bit more vulnerable. This time he lifts up the Widow Mine, but Stim is here, has to be careful, and he is careful actually. And we are going to be seeing the Phoenix backing away to the top side. So Marine's trying to poke the front, and another Liberator actually comes into the main base as we see those probes pulling away. They are going to be picking off just one. Nice fast response from Creator, warping in already. Marines have dropped in towards the 3rd base. KeeN is all over the place this time around to make sure he can try and get as much done as possible here, as we are going to be seeing that medevac going down, and we do see some Adepts coming forwards, able to pick off a few of those Marines. 5 probes going down in total. Nice stasis ward at the front, at least going to trap some of those Marines, and gives Creator just a little bit of time to deal with the other bits and pieces before he actually has to come in and deal with this. I'd love it if he pulled that sentry away actually, because I feel as though KeeN, if he was paying maybe a bit more attention right away, maybe could have just targeted that sentry down very quickly. Combat Shields is going to be finishing as soon as KeeN is up to 5 racks. He's also on the 3rd CC, so no 2 base sort of, let's go, let's kind of have at it, let's just be hyper aggressive. No, he's just going to be playing the kind of the 3 base, and he may still be aggressive off the 5 racks and 3 bases, but it's not the sort of aggression that has to win the game here and now. It doesn't have to kill 20 workers, delay a 3rd, and all the rest of it. As you see those Phoenix, where they are scouting around for opportunities to deal further damage as well. Any chance he can get here to do a little bit more damage would be nice, of course. Just having the Phoenix here, though, is a little bit kind of scary, because if a drop does get away around the Phoenix, like this one, if a drop gets away around the Phoenix, then it does mean it's very difficult for the Frost player to necessarily kind of clean it up as quickly or chase it down. So I like it, the idea of seeing these Phoenix over here, and KeeN's like, okay, well, in that case, I can drop around the map a little bit less kind of riskily, it's a little bit less risky for me than usual. We do see Robobay on the way up as well as Creator, probably looking towards a switch towards the Colossus here in the near future, as it's kind of real splash damage for this game. Obviously, so far he's been very Gateway and Phoenix focused. It doesn't leave a lot of splash damage, which is definitely a bit more necessary as the Bioforces do gather up together. As we are going to be seeing this medevac backing away up towards the upper right side, and again, just more bio units coming in, and we are going to see them lifting up into medevac to just dance towards the main base. And again, this continued aggression here from KeeN has just been so successful so far, although now this medevac and units get cleaned up on the top right. Here's a big drop into the main, but actually Creator had a lot of units coming in. He'll lose a sentry, a shield battery will help a little bit. It's taken him some time to clean his way through this, but eventually he'll get there. As he gets there, oh, those Widow Mines were nice, but again, they were not really too devastating, I suppose. I guess they picked off a sentry or two, a couple of these Adepts. And we are going to be seeing these this Phoenix coming forwards and picking its way through that medevac. Yeah, guys, we are getting a couple of lags here. I'm seeing people talk about it in the chat again. For some reason, my connection to Korea right now is absolutely dog shit, just to put it simply. And for some reason, we're just getting these pings. It's not affecting the players. It's purely on my end. It's nothing we can do about it, sadly, so apologies for that. Thanks for understanding, and let's just try and enjoy the games despite, as we do see these units continue to come on through. And well, the Phoenix are here to clean up the couple of medevacs, so they're already going to show up and shut those down. The double warp prism shows up, not sure if that was meant to be over here. And we are just going to be seeing these last few units being cleaned up. Again, it's all about KeeN this time. While in the last game it was about Creator being on the map of the Stalks initially, and then he was kind of a little bit more defensive and successfully defensive. This game KeeN really has brought the pressure. He really has been all over the bases, and he really has been putting on the pressure so far. As you see, a couple of War Prisms just going to spread out in a couple of different directions here, thinking about where exactly they want to jump on into. As a couple of missile turrets will come up to the upper right hand side of this main base. So they're just going to set themselves up a starport on the far bottom left, and the Liberator coming through from this starport, as we are going to see the Phoenix from Creator moving around, just looking to see what opportunities lie waiting for him in the near future. Another Sentry, another Adept coming on in, and just going to be seeing a Colossus coming on over towards the center of all these bases. We do see the first Prism shows up. Triple Adept is enough to get rid of these SCVs. He actually has the upgrades to be able to two-shot SCVs, so Triple Adept was maybe not as necessary as it seems. Some more Adepts warp in, but the rest of them shaded up here, but they actually got dealt with very quickly. One War Prism down, but another one ready to go. That's the benefit of having double Prism. You can lose one and not really too much about it. Marine's actually going to get caught in a stasis with this drop. And again, Creator just finding himself some very nice little bits and pieces of defense here, which are just enabling him to actually be a bit more aggressive on the map every now and then. Although that said, he pulled all the way back with all of his units to actually deal with this right now. What's up, Uber Ponzos in the chat with the sub as well. Welcome to the family. How are you doing? Thank you so much for subscribing and supporting the channel. Demark is the best with another 100 bits in the chat. Just an onslaught of bits. It's like I've won the bit lottery today, I guess. It's crazy. Dude, thank you so much. And Uber Ponzos as well, thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate it. We are going to be seeing the units of Creator here just moving around 4 bases. Isn't Creator too passive, asks Furu in the chat. I mean, arguably you could say that maybe he is being very passive, but for the Protoss player, as the time goes by, his army gets a lot better in the later stage of the game before the Terran players gets a lot better. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So basically, the Liberator is initially definitely scary, but I think the late game Protoss army is scarier sooner. And once the Liberators get into, another 4 to 6 libs, then they're maybe very scary. But right now, Creator just surviving puts himself in a good position because he's built up into the army he wants. He's been able to go Phoenix initially, he's been able to then transition into Colossus, get some Disruptors, he now has Temple Archives coming down, he's heading towards his dream army. Now, I do have to say, I think while I've been making this point, the Liberator count is maybe a bit more powerful than than I was maybe given credit for, and maybe, KeeN's kind of happy with the damage he's done, but I don't necessarily feel as though Creator needed to do much more across the map throughout the game. I mean, he has had some War Prisms, he has had the Phoenix around as well. It's not like he's just been sat doing nothing, it's just that if he got more aggressive, KeeN is definitely been in a position to potentially abuse that. So, yeah, I mean, every time he has moved out of the Phoenix, it feels as though he's had to just pull them right back home to deal with another drop. And that's maybe been one of the issues. We are going to be seeing those units still gathering together here from Creator. And the bio units, the couple of Liberators from KeeN coming all the way to the right hand side. He's going to go for that sort of Doom drop play. And going to be setting up in towards the 3rd base. So, dropping off right now, we're going to see a lot of these bio units coming down. The Liberators siege on up, and we are going to be seeing a big push through this position. Pylons going down, gateways going down. This Nexus is in some trouble too in the middle of the map though. Creator takes a good fight, and this time, what does he do? Does he just push across for the base trade? It looks as though he wants to, but man, I mean, we're already in such a good position here for the Terran player base trading. This is a little bit interesting. Disruptor shot comes forwards, and we are going to be seeing these bad units coming in, and they will be able to pick off a Disruptor here. Nice storm coming down, and we are going to be seeing just another couple of storms here and there, but those Liberators are getting so much done. I mean, in a position like this, there is just no answer to these Liberators, and so I had this little bit of a rant about these Liberators maybe not being as scary, not being the dream army, but in this scenario, the way that KeeN used them, they KeeN with the same move there against Creator as he used against Mana earlier, the Liberators into the 3rd base and just then dropping behind it. It's so powerful in that position, because there's just no way to kind of really work around it, and you're just going to lose the 3rd because you get onto the Nexus so quickly. you know, you compare it to kind of bases here, like what are you going to do? Just to ignore the intros for a moment, for example, you know, if you kind of like, you know, this map just doesn't work for it. You drop in here, it's like, okay, maybe the Liberator's Siege from here, you're going to cover this much of the base, but that's engageable, that's a, you know, that's a nexus that's defendable. It's that third base on Backwater that's actually so weak to that attack, so it's definitely not something you can see on every map, on every base. As we kick this off to the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player is KeeN. He's going up against the red Protoss player to the bottom right-hand side, Creator. Aren't you in trouble if you allow Terran to set something like that up in your base? I mean, like I was just saying, I mean, obviously it's stream delay, so you didn't hear me just say it yet, but now you will have. But yeah, I mean, if they get into a good enough position like that, it's extremely difficult to deal with, which is probably why Puck continues going across the map, even though it's not really the sort of scenario where going across the map is really ever a good idea. But it's just one of those, sorry, not Puck, Creator. He just knows there's no kind of winning for him in that scenario, I think. I think he just realizes that it's already kind of the game-ending move, the checkmate. But like I said, like, it's only a few bases on a few different maps that can happen on. Yes, it can definitely happen, you know, on this base as well, but it's not going to be as effective. I mean, unless you somehow get the entire Doom drop over here and you see to the Liberators, and then, even then, I mean, it's just so much more space to deal with. It's just the dead air on Backwater really allows you to do something a little bit different. We are going to be seeing the engineering bay here. It's kind of interesting. This used to be about kind of keeping track of the mothership core. It used to be about keeping track of the first unit. I guess it's still the same. If the adept is down here dealing with the engineering bay, getting rid of it, you know it's not across the map, which gives you a bit more freedom to set up for the most part. We'll see maybe if that means that KeeN's doing something a little bit cheeky, maybe like a factory onto the reactor and some Hellions. That's kind of what comes into my mind here right away when he does something a bit different like this, because it's something you maybe don't want the adept to come across the map to see. You maybe want to keep the adept at home a bit longer, just put his timers off, and then maybe open the pathway for those Hellions to get some real damage done. Because right now the Reaper in the main base is going to get taken down. He gets a scout off the Stargate at the very least though, so he sees the first tech choice of the game, and he knows about that so far. It's going to be seeing a couple of these Hellions going to be trying to come forwards, and again, two Cyclones behind this as well. That's where the power really comes from in this coming attack. I mean, when two Cyclones start to come at the front here, they're going to be able to get a lot done. And what's going to be interesting is what the Oracle does, because if the Oracle goes across the map, okay, there's not maybe going to be much defense at home to deal with the Oracle if the Cyclones go and attack. But if the Oracle isn't at home, then it's not going to be able to help against the Cyclones, obviously. And so you get into this very awkward little scenario. Now, the Engineering Bay was now cancelled, and as the Engineering Bay gets cancelled, these Adepts and the Oracle start to move across the map. Actually, right now, the Cyclones are staying at home, so he's not going to move across as I initially thought he might. He's going to get two more Cyclones, and maybe then he goes for a later attack here. But Creator, he hasn't seen anything at all. He decides to pull back because the Hellions run by. I mean, that's one of the sneaky things by keeping these Adepts at home. When we do see the Adepts deciding to move across, suddenly Hellions show up, and suddenly we're talking about 6 workers killed, which is just fantastic. A lot of lost mining time as well. And it pulls this attack back, and now there's 4 Cyclones against an Oracle and 3 Adepts. I mean, that Oracle is going to die so quickly if the lock-on comes into play here, and, well, there's 2 of the Cyclones locking on. He can chase, doesn't have the vision to keep up forever, though, unfortunately. But now he can start moving across the map, and this Oracle already being low makes it a very quick and easy target to take down in an engagement. Hellion continuing to move around. He has found 2 worker kills and going to find another one now as well. That's 3 more workers. This Oracle doesn't have the energy to actually help out, and 4 kills, 5 maybe at the end. No, the Oracle popped its energy to help out, but again, now there's only 1 Oracle that's really a threat here because the other one has no energy. A warping of Stalkers is definitely going to help, but 1 Stalker goes down instantly. There's the Oracle's locking on, but sorry, the Cyclone's locking onto the Oracle. The Oracle with energy gets taken down here, and this fight will continue with KeeN applying a hell of a lot of pressure right now. And we've seen these couple of Cyclones continue to kind of ram, pulling back just a little bit. 2 Adepts, 2 Stalkers gathering together. The Cyclone does get knocked down here. Another Cyclone taking some more damage as well. A few more Stalkers just continue to come on through, and you're just going to be seeing the Cyclones continue to back away. They're a little bit fast enough to be able to kind of avoid that Stalker shot, and turning around here, they might even get another Adept, but going up the ramp is obviously very scary. So all of these Cyclones are going to end up pulling back towards the upper left-hand side. Stimpack is on the way down, Starport coming through. So for triple racks, factory is middle of the reactor, which the Starport can hop onto. We'll see KeeN probably move that factory away towards another reactor very soon. A few Marines just jumping in towards that bunker. Another Marine all the way towards the upper right-hand side, looking to see just what's going to be happening. Twilight Council and a Forge on the way in the main base. A Third Nexus from Creator as well. I mean, overall, this initial defense was actually very well done. You know, when you think about what's been going on here, there's some very good defense so far, and as a Marine gets taken down, I'm just going to see those Stalkers continue to come up the left-hand side, and, well, I mean, Creator can now apply a little bit of pressure here. And what's really cool is that these Cyclones are not going to be anywhere near as useful later in the game as they already have been early on. They are so good at trading early, but they fall off massively later into the game. They're still going to be nice to have in an engagement, don't get me wrong. They can still shut down warp prisms, for example, and other units which they can lock onto in the skies. I mean, at this stage, really only warp prisms come to mind. But, you know, they can do little bits of damage. The issue is, they're not going to be a major part of the army, and so 10 or so supply of this Terran army is not as effective as it might want to be in late game engagements. Like, again, if they come out and fight these Stalkers right now, they're going to be amazing. But give them another couple of minutes and these Cyclones are really going to kind of die off a little bit, and you're just going to see the Stalkers here going to back away. A Stasis Ward gets every single Cyclone to keep this safe. Two Oracles going in towards the main base, so you actually rebuild an extra Oracle here to get a little bit more done. Stim is done though, and obviously that makes it difficult for these Oracles to get too much done. You just get into the Manure Line as the Marines take a little while to chase, and so if Reworker's down, maybe a 450 turns properly and you just get 5 because one of them was already low. Back into the natural, maybe there's a little bit more of an opportunity. One drop on the south side of the map, or actually, it's kind of like a double drop, but only the size of a drop. I mean, 10 Marines isn't too much scarier than 8. Again, just going to be seeing those few Oracles continuing around and seeing what else they can get up to. Army coming down the left-hand side here in KeeN. Continue to push on forwards. A few more Stalkers warp in and some shield batteries coming up. Obviously, Creator here realizing the defense on the third will be important. He's continuing in towards Blink, Chrono boosting that out, but he gets +1 on Blink. This defense becomes that much easier for him here. As you're going to see those Marines stimming in, though, he's not going to get that moment or two. He does get a force field or two off of the sentry. The one sentry that goes down is actually already kind of, was actually high on energy, though, so maybe another couple of force fields available that he doesn't now get to use. Zealots warping in to try and do some tanking. In this scenario, the Cyclones are actually getting quite a lot done. They're adding a lot to this fight, as we do see the Stalkers continuing forwards. A couple of Widow Mines going to start going off. The Oracles come back home. They're actually going to eat up the Widow Mine shots, which isn't amazing, but it may be better at this stage than the Stalkers going down. More Stalkers warping in, there's still Blink available. Creator continuing to try and hold on here, but I feel as though KeeN might just have a little bit too much. The shield batteries are gone now as well. And just Stalkers on their own, yes, the Blink will do a lot to keep them alive, but in terms of actually being able to tank damage, they're not going to tank much damage at all. The Marauders chew through Stalkers for breakfast. Now we see these probes continue to come on forwards. A Zealot goes down and is just still able to continue fighting here. Really awesome play by KeeN as he just continues to press this third base. And at this stage, I mean, Creator even warping in a couple more sentries to try and get some more force fields. I mean, warping in sentries mid-fight like this is a real desperation move. That's sort of like a give me anything to hold on with, please. Because they're so gas heavy, and it just means that he knows he's probably not going to get a chance to use that gas at a later point. But don't mind Unburrow because he doesn't want to go off onto just the Phoenix, which they were about to. Now they get to clean up a couple of Zealots, which is a lot better. The Cyclone gets blown up in that friendly fire, though. KeeN is still pressing forwards. The Immortal is segregated off to the right-hand side. He takes that down as he continues to move over that side. A few of these probes are in trouble as well. The Stalkers are still warping in, trying to hang on to this, but 50 supply down. Creator will not be able to make this happen. GG is called, and KeeN will take the series 2-1.